Hi, Chris Colby here from GC Property Group. I just wanted to do a slightly more informal video just to let you know why it is that I do property and why I decided to quit my full-time day job to do property full-time. So it must have been about 18 months to 2 years ago now. I started to get a little bit of a bug thinking, I quite like my job, but I don't know whether I want to do this full time. So for those that you don't know, I was a business analyst and then moved on to a business analysis manager at my previous job. Now, I always quite enjoyed that, but I always had this niggling thing of, why am I putting all this work in for someone else to make someone else money? So I started to Google ways to make money passively and also ways to make money for yourself. And when I started Googling that, I came across a certain book. Now that book is Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. There you go there. So for those of you that haven't read this book, it is an absolutely fantastic book on personal finance and to really change your mindset about how you think about making money. So I read this book and I became slightly obsessed with ways to make money from assets. Now, Robert Kiyosaki is quite controversial in what he calls an asset, because he doesn't believe that the house that you live in is an asset. He thinks it's a liability because it costs you money. Now, in his mind, an asset is something that gives you money. So, for example, a rental property. So you've paid for that, and as long as it's rented out, that is an asset because that is paying money and putting money in your pocket. So I've always wanted to build up a property portfolio, but I've never really known how, had the savings, because I always thought you needed lots and lots of money to do it, or the knowledge to do that. So I started to get interested in property and building up a property portfolio. Now, I watched quite a lot of YouTube videos, looked at quite a lot of blogs. Then I came across Samuel Leeds. So Samuel Leeds, if you don't know, he is a property investor and property trainer in the UK. Now, he has received quite a lot of bad press just lately. This is mainly due to someone who was on his training program and committed suicide. So a lot of bad press has been going around about that. However, my experience has been really positive. So with the training, he offers a 2-day free crash course, which you go through at a high level each of different strategies, whether it's rent to rent, buy to let, HMOs, but really does give you quite a lot of content at a high level. I can't recommend enough that people go on that, spend a couple of days, because nothing else, it's a really good environment to get in. Lots of very enthusiastic, very like-minded people. So once I went on that, I got thinking, okay, do you know what? I think I really want to do this. So I then started viewing properties. I think I first started viewing properties up in Durham. Well, not in Durham, but in the Durham area. I was really psyched up. But then I came home to do the figures. I got in touch with a mortgage broker, and the houses up there was so cheap. I simply couldn't get a mortgage on them. So you're talking houses that are sort of the late 20s, early 30,000. You just couldn't get a mortgage on them. So as a result, your return on investment wasn't good enough. So it was at that point I didn't give up. I thought, do you know what? I still really want to do this. I want to build up passive income, and I want to stop working for someone else. So I decided to join up to one of Samuel Leeds' paid courses, the Deal Finding Extravaganza. And what that did is that put me in a room with 400 really keen prospective property investors. And we spent 3 days going through how to find good deals, how to validate those deals, and also we touched on networking and also how to look for investors. So these 3 days really got me all psyched up. And I decided at that point, do you know what? I do want to do this full time. So I went on the Property Academy. Now the Property Academy is the full property training suite that they provide. And as I say, my experience has been really positive. They talk a lot about the property elements, but they also talk a lot about the human psychological elements. So a lot of this is around fear, getting through your fear of something. So I think there are a lot of instances where people might think something is too good to be true. So rather than doing it, they'll just shy away. So some of the elements of the course really get you to push through that fear barrier, so you can succeed in life. Anyway, I was enrolled on that, and then I was still working at that point. As I say, I wasn't hating my job, but I wasn't quite feeling fulfilled enough. So I took the decision, do you know what? If I'm going to do this, let's do it full on, full out. So I left my job. So I left my job at the end of November 2019. At the time of recording now, it is March 2020. So I decided to dedicate myself to property, and also really to try to help other people that might have been in a similar situation to me, to help them understand how property could be a potential way for them to build some extra income alongside their earned income. So for me, the holy grail is passive income. So as at the time of recording in March 2020, we are in the middle of the coronavirus event. Hopefully this isn't going to go along too much. I'm really hoping it's not. I'm hoping people there's been a lot of panic buying, people getting really worked up and panicked. So I'm hoping people will settle down. They can use the time that they might be in isolation to really help grow themselves. But it's proved to me, again, why it's so important to try and find ways to passively get income. So there's a lot of people that, particularly the self-employed, that once they've stopped working, that's it, they're not earning anything, there's nothing they can do. And I firmly believe that I didn't want to be in that situation, hence going into property. So that's one reason, but also I just want to plan ahead for the future, that if anything were to happen to me, my family would be protected because they would have some income coming in. So I hope that just gives you a little bit about why I've gone into property and why I'm doing it. Please subscribe to the channel, like this video, share it as well, because I want many people to know my message. And if you are interested in learning more about what I do and the kind of deals that I look for, or if you potentially want to invest with me, please subscribe to my mailing list where I send exclusive content out to my members. If you're not on that mailing list, you won't get that content, so please subscribe. Thanks for watching. Speak soon.